Okay, Saturday morning in the kingdom, and it's freaking cold out here. Yes, it's freaking cold. Yes, it's not quite 40 below, like the rodeo song. All right, this morning we woke up to minus 34 Celsius, but feels like minus 48. It's lies, because it's gotten colder. Trust me, I'm out here holding a stick. All right, on the yo-yo scale, a decent temperature of minus 29 Fahrenheit, but feels like minus 54. Now we're talking. Yes, it's an official cold, and the weather station or where Av Canada or Nav Canada or Weather Canada has it down as extreme cold. Yes, so we had the GoPros plugged in last night, charging them up so we could go to the wilderness today, but that's been canceled due to the fact it's cold. Yes, it's way too cold. Yes, so we're gonna do other things today. Wander around aimlessly lost in the kingdom. And also too, like I told everybody, 13,000 subscribers wasn't a good thing. Yes, it wasn't a good thing. Any videos we release now are performing worse than the one we released the day before. Unreal. I don't know what we did, but it's the number 13. So we're going to have to get some more subscribers to bump it up to 14,000 subscribers to get rid of the bad omen of number 13. What was I thinking? I should have wrote to YouTube and asked to be bypassed, or how would you say, forgiven for 13,000. Just go from 12,000 to 14,000. Yes. So get your cousins, your uncles, your aunties, whatever to subscribe. Even your mistress. Yes, get her to subscribe. Oh, and for the ladies, your lover. Yes, your lover. Have him subscribe too. All right. So we're not doing anything today. I should probably write more on that book, get it released. I worked late last night till 12 o'clock working on the book. But it's that autocorrect. And how would you say that it's the programs to make you a better author or writer or typer or whatever, typist or whatever, screws it all up. So I type in the word from and it changes it to form. Yeah, unreal. All right, let's back up quickly. The wood stove survived the night. Hot coals and ambers in there, so all I had to do was toss some kindling in. Dry kindling, yes. Oh, look at the smoke. I'm suffering. Yes, I'm out here, standing here holding a stick. Well, everybody else is smart inside where it's warm. Even the dogs are in where it's warm. All right, so we just about made one full rotation. There we go. Let's see if we have a dippy-doo for some wood smoke. There it is, taking a while to focus. Jack is here. Jack doesn't care. He's probably wearing a sweater so he can fly around. All right, it's freaking cold. Me phone's probably censored me. So today's going to be a slow day. We're not sure what we're going to do. Fresh mouthwash. It's minty. Can you smell? All right. Well, we better go. Here comes the boss. Unreal. And I did untangle the flags. My fingers or hands are cold from doing that. Unreal. Well, I better go. Here comes the boss.
Saturday morning in WHO-ville. It's just after 10 a.m. and as you can see, it is pretty sunny out here right now, but it is cold. We are still in the extreme cold warning, so let's head inside, see if the dogs want to go out and make breakfast. Then at 1 p.m. I'll head up and do some shopping, then go over to the kingdom. 12 p.m. and I'm just getting ready to make lunch. I've been sleeping on and off most of the morning. I'm not feeling the greatest. Now let's head inside and let the dogs out. I think I'll just have soup today. Then at 1 p.m. I'll do the weather. It is chilly out here. Almost 1 p.m. and I'm just finishing up lunch. This is the temperature we're sitting at right now. It's minus 32 degrees Celsius, which is minus 25 degrees Fahrenheit. We even had the feels like on the bottom. We are still in an extreme cold warning, so let's head inside, get ready, get the screw out, then go do some shopping. Just after 1 p.m. and for the 2 bags it was $120. They didn't really have much on the shelf today, no meat or anything like that, but I got everything on the list. Now let's head over to the kingdom and drop it off. 1:30 and I made to the kingdom and put all the groceries away. Sounds like my dad is already cutting up rail ties, so I'll go grab the tubs and hit him behind the house and fill him out of the long trailer. It is cold out here. Down at the shop, and I just got the toboggan dragged inside the shop because I'm going to empty out all the firewood that's in here so I can load it when I go do the tubs. Got the toboggan unloaded into the shop, no problem. Now I'll hit him behind the house and load out of the long trailer. I'm going to put long stuff on the bottom and then put the tubs on top. That way I don't have to make 2 trips. Just after 2 p.m. and I got the toboggan filled up. Now I'll head back over to the shop and drop everything off. My dad will just keep the toboggan again since I don't need it at the house right now. Back over at the hose shack and I just put the tubs away. Looks like my dad's been cutting up some rail ties, so I'll put the tubs in the shop and then see what he's doing. 2:30, we just got all the firewood put into the shop and the hose shack. I'm officially done in the kingdom, so I'll grab my dog treats and head on back into WHO-ville and do the weather at 5 p.m. Look how windy it is out right now.
Okay, it's 3 o'clock in the kingdom, and we did 2 hours of firework. And then I spent the morning fighting with the computer. Unreal. I think my ex-wife got a job at Microsoft or something. I don't know. The computer took a dislike to me. All right, so we got the wood all lined up here. We did a good process run because we needed pictures for the book to finish it out. Yes, I got to get to the 11th chapter, I think it's called. And this is the updates, and this is the way we're doing it today as of January 18th? Yeah, January 18th, 2025. So this is good pictures and photo ops for the book. Yes, and we got that wood stove putting out some heat. We got core boxes. Everything was staged. Even the skill saw up here looking good. All right, let's go see what what's happening over at the hose shack. Okay, now over at the hose shack for a photo op. Look at that. We have all the wood stuffed in here to make it look good for the pictures for the book. But it's actually too much wood in here because there's no room to work. But it's this cold. We're not going to be working. We're going to be, how would you say, amusing ourselves with some beverage, I think. Okay, it's too cold to do any filming or anything in the kingdom. It was hard enough to even cutting the firewood. It was chilly willy. I don't know, this breeze we have or the coldness and the wind is just unreal. It cuts right through you. Lazy man's wind. It doesn't go around you. So we're short video, so we'll add some film footage from a oh, these lips, okay. So we'll add some film footage of a slideshow that I created back in July of 2022. It is a YouTube video, I think it's July 28th, I think it was. I'll include a link in the description. But this is when the Screaming Ford, before it has its fame on Ice Road Truckers, because Ice Road Truckers was 2013. And 2014 we appeared on the show. All right, so we went up to Keno back in 2006. We were doing scrap metal because we got a lot of useful items from Keno. So we loaded it up on the Screaming Ford. We have the loader on the trailer and everything like that. The 86 Dodge head hanger joined us for the adventure. So it's a slideshow that I made, and then I did a voiceover. So we'll add it into the video, or to make this video a full 20 minutes so everybody gets a good nap. So we'll add it in here. So please enjoy. And that was one of my first voiceover. Oh, these lips. Okay, it was one of my first voiceover videos I ever made, but I've improved since then. I'm not sure. I think it's the vodka. All right, so let's watch the video here. Okay, back in 2006, we went on a little adventure over the Keno Rally Road to the community of Keno because we were up there delivering some new boats and motors, or new boats and some lumber. And of course, along the way, we got to take a picture of these guys fishing while we're working. And that's the LaPlante-Choate bridge, which is a little narrow, so trying to get the two trailers across, that's great fun, but that's par for the course. And of course, we take pictures of the water because that documents the water levels, so that tells you what the ice is going to be like in the winter. So the Keno Rally Road is basically sand and gravel built through the Eskers and the muskeg of the Great White North. So it's up a hill, down around the corner, up a hill, down around the corner. So that's for 100 kilometers, and that means you're having fun. So we took some excellent photos back then using a camera, because 2006 the photographs weren't that good because nobody had these iPhones or anything like that that can take beautiful pictures today. So now here I am in my recording studio talking about this trip we did, because we are making a little slideshow here and I'm doing the voiceover. So here we are coming into Keno, going down the big hill, which is well known in my books and my adventures and stuff like that. This hill is steep. It's well worth writing about, and the good times and the fun times we have in the summer and winter on this big hill. Excellent views of the lakes and scenery, or whatever, the forest, but that's par for the course. So at the bottom we stopped, and we're going to unhook the back trailer so we can go into the bush and get some recyclables. So the loader is a 922 loader on the sleigh trailers I built back in the early 2000s when I was drinking professionally. Okay, this stuff was well hidden by the trees, but it's old winter road building equipment used on Ranger Lake for when they had the ice road across the lake itself. I tell about it in my winter road book series, and that's where I learned about ice road. The tandem trailers got the new lumber and the boats for a lodge. That was back when lodges were doing good business. And okay, back in the mid 1960s or the mid 60s, the equipment did not have much for brakes back then, so you had to use common sense and be able to do the job. So I'm bringing the loader down with rear wheel steering down the ramp off the back and onto the blocks. It's not something you really do when you don't have brakes, but we did it all the time. We had fun back then. Now we're older and smarter, I guess you could say. But the 922 loader has served me well over the years with the forks and everything, and we've had a good run with it. So we're going to go in the bush here and grab some recyclable material or the road drags that we just dragged out. Okay, there's a lot of history in these road drags and the way they made them for going across the ice to make the ice smooth. It was back in the late 1990s is when the government of Manitoba decided to move all the ice roads off to ice to make it a lot safer with the winter roads going through the bush. And that's when we started building and helping out with the winter roads. And that also gave me my 15 seconds of fame on ice road truckers. This is the end of part 1, and we'll talk to you guys later. Okay, for the second part of the Keno cleanup in 2006, I've sped it up because all the slideshow video that I made the first time around, I was leaving the slides or whatever, the pictures, to stay up for 7 seconds. That way you could read the printed words that I had added on. So now we're just going to narrate and continue on here. So here we are getting the loader to wrestle with this road drag chain, which is great fun because it's a flexible track chain, which you want so it'll be, contour the ground or follow the ground or make the ground smooth. And then we got to go back in the bush and find the V-plow. So the V-plow is great fun because it's extra wide to plow the trail so the truck or the equipment can go through. So it's a oversized load and you're trying to make it fit. But our biggest problem is once it's on the fork, you can't see. And then these trees, they blossom so much you can't see anything, or the road or anything's all grown in. So great fun to try and get it onto the trailer. But the main thing is we have to get it on the trailer and then hook up the small trailer to the back of it and then travel into Keno, and then the Dodge truck gave me a ride back to get the loader. So once in Keno, we jackknifed the truck so we can get the lumber off the front of the neck of the trailer, so everything was well thought out. So I took trips down to the lake where the boats are waiting. While I was gone, the staff was taking pictures of squirrels. When I returned, I'm carrying a fuel tank, or an old fuel tank, which is good usable steel for us in the kingdom, and then grabbed the next bundle of lumber and head down. So the little loader went back and forth numerous times, but it worked out good because that's all we've ever done with the loader. And once the tanks were gathered up around the staging areas, I guess you can say, we get to wrestle with that track chain again to try and get it to fit on the trailer, because the trailer is only so wide and the track chain road drag wants to be wider than the trailer. So once it was, wrestled, we went into the bush there and found an old winter freighting cat, which is an Alice Chalmers, well stripped, no parts worthy of bringing back to the kingdom. And then we started loading the tanks after we got the V-plow sitting on top of the track chain. So the tanks have to get shoved onto the trailer, and they're not that easy to work with, and we have to make sure they don't roll off the other side of the trailer and down onto the ground. So these tanks worked out very well. They became part of the tune barge. We'll do a documentary on that, or a voiceover video on the slideshow of that. So we just shove everything on the trailer, work safely as best we can, and we're doing this sober, remember, and get everything loaded up for the trip back over that road. So it was great fun, working safely, and the staff was taking all the pictures, but the little loader works out pretty good. I've owned it since 1994, and in the end we get a nice trimmed up load that looks pretty good, and we had no problems hauling it. So we even got the saddles for the tanks and everything like that, which is good steel, and we have to be thankful of all this good stuff that we got. Everybody else thinks it's scrap metal, but us, we enjoy it because we can make a lot of projects with it. Also, too, looking at these pictures back in 2006, I had no gray hair, probably had hair on the top of my head, and I was a lot skinnier back then. Oh, the good old days. End of part 2, and we'll talk to you later. Okay, once the load was secured down, this recyclable steel, or the good steel to us, scrap metal to everybody else, we took the tandem trailer down to the lake with the new boats and the new lumber and unloaded it and photographed it all so we didn't get blamed for damage. But these are Lumarina deep haul boats, would have a 50 or 60 horse motor on the back. Excellent fishing boats, so the lodge guests will enjoy them. And then once the boats were done, we headed back over to the store with the loader to get some nice scrap metal or recyclable tanks. These are nice tanks because they were clean inside and everything. We were very pleased. But the camera does not show how steep this is, and we're driving up by the store there. So I've included some memorabilia photos of the store fully stocked for everybody to remember the good old days when the store was a booming place. It's nice to see that it's all stocked up. And then once that tank was on the trailer, we went back and got another tank. And it does not show how steep this hill is. And remember, we have no brakes on the loader. So the staff took a picture of me dragging the tank back to the trailer. Once it was on the trailer, we took the loader and parked it in a secret spot. And you can see the hood of the 86 Dodge there. And then there's a picture of me with no gray hair, I guess you could say, loading the truck and tying it all down. The 86 Dodge even looked good in the pictures, better known as the head hanger. So once everything was tied down, we started heading out to travel back over the road. So it's a nice setup we had there with the 2 trailers, and then it's sand and more sand, and we're heading out of Keneseo. So the staff was able to get some decent photos here. Here we are climbing some nice hills. The road was in great shape. The LaPlante-Choate bridge again, looking good. Those were the good old days, I guess you could say. But we had fun. Well, we made a lot of nice projects out of that recycled steel from Keneseo. 16 years later, we're still using the stuff in the kingdom here. My Winter Road book, which features my first trips over the Winter Road back in 1996, is in My Struggles, the first book in the Winter Road series. And then we have the 86 Dodge featured in the Head Hanger Winter Road book. So they're pretty popular around the world, so please enjoy. Talk to you later. Okay, I had to go back to Keneseo with just 1 trailer and a couple lifts of lumber in the bucket for the loader. So it was just a quick trip. I didn't take the staff that day, so I had to take all the pictures myself. So here I am fueling up the loader in that secret hiding spot. So we just pumped the fuel out of the Screaming Ford. So I increased the length of the pictures here because not too many people get to see bombardier tracks, because that's kind of neat and stuff like that. And we got a military wheel there with no wheel nuts. It's just kind of hubbed on there. So it's kind of interesting, the design. And this is a bombardier, which is known for the transportation across the frozen lakes and everything. Very popular in commercial fishing. And then we got the big name in the winter freighting transport back then with a cat on the side. And this diesel generator was cat trained out of the kingdom in the early 50s. So it's kind of neat history seeing it there and knowing that it came from the kingdom. And this is what the houses used to look like in Keneseo. It's all logs and built out of toothpick trees because the trees don't grow very big. An old-time snow machine with a big transmission out of the Buick car or something on the back. I think that's kind of neat. And then you got one of these farm motors, as we call it, because it's a hit and miss because it came from the farm down south. So it's kind of interesting. And a local here had the ball joint break on his truck, so we had to lift him out of the way with the loader to get the lumber down to the lake. And then we included the pictures of the junkyard that we cleaned up in 2009. We tried to save as much as we could, but scrap is scrap, and the stuff is well beaten and abused and beat up, so you can't really save it all. It's kind of interesting to see the Lindell name on one of the transport trucks, or one of the half-ton trucks up there, because it was a big company at one time freighting all over the north with the cats and the sleighs. The Lindell Transport Company was based out of the kingdom, and they freighted everything out of the yard here because we were close to the train tracks, so they could load from the rail cars onto the sleighs and then head north. And of course we have the toothpick trees everywhere because nothing grows big in the sand up there. And of course something is burnt. Everything is burnt. I don't know why everything has to burn. We have no idea. But it looks like a Ford car. And I think that's a Chevy Cheval there. It wasn't not bad of shape. We did save some parts off it when we scrapped it in 2009. And Henry Ford's V8 motor that Bonnie and Clyde, made famous outrunning the cops back in the 30s there. And to make some money, we pushed up the garbage dump in Keneseo using the bucket of the loader, which is great fun in the sand, but we were having fun. Once everything was all done, we load the loader up and we're heading back to the kingdom. We didn't take anything back with us this time. And sand and more sand makes dust, so it's hard to see out the mirrors of the truck, but that's par for the course. And the road was in great shape back then in 2006, going through the eskers here. Oh, that was such a sweet ride and smooth compared to now in 2022. Okay, we can't forget about the Winter Road book series, which talks about the Keneseo Rally Road in 1996, and then we talk about it again in the King of Obsolete Adventures. And these books are on Amazon, so please enjoy. That is the end of part 4.
Okay, in yesterday's video, we couldn't get a good cover photo, so I just grabbed a photo of the 41 Chevy truck there, and we called it the road drag. Yes, but I changed it out today because I was able to get a good, decent photo here of the road drag. Okay, without all the smoke and everything, plus the staff didn't have her toboggan chained to it. So that's why the cover photo for yesterday's video got changed, because this is the dog drag, train drag, whatever. Oh, these lips need some vodka. These are not working very well. Maybe it's too cold out here. All right, so now everybody knows we changed the video. So if you were beveraging last night and then you're checking your YouTube channel or whatever to see that the pictures changed, no, you didn't have too much to drink last night. We had to change it to the proper one.
5 p.m. and this is the temperature we're sitting at right now. It's minus 29 degrees Celsius, which is minus 20 degrees Fahrenheit. We even have the feels like on the bottom. It was extra cold out there this afternoon, and we are still in the extreme cold warning. Now let's head inside, see if the dogs want to go out, make supper, and end my day.
Okay, it's cold out here. The Me phone will censor me, so you'll hear the click and then the volume will drop. We got the wood stove stocked up. These ones are burning excellent. We're in a low pressure air system. The water is not boiling for the coffee. Yes, it's just unreal. But we have it worked out. We figured it out. Wet wood, dry wood, how do you say, single barrel stoves. Yes, that's what you need, the single barrel. So those days of double barrel Dr. Seuss chimneys don't work. All right, keep it simple like the old timers. We have a beautiful sunset. It's cold. You can feel the wind on my face. Can you feel it on the screen? Oh, it's chilly out here. All right, let's look at the flags. They're enjoying a slight breeze, which is so chilly, especially that poor Oklahoma flag and the Australian one. They're not used to it, but the Alaskan flag right there, it's enjoying this cold. All right, let's go walk the dogs, finish a video, get this book written and done so it can be on Amazon, so I can generate an income for 20 years from now. All right, we'll talk to you later.